Hi, everyone, and welcome to Dear Katie, the podcast that amplifies courageous voices and real stories of resilience, healing, and hope after trauma. Katie Koestner was the first woman to speak out publicly as a survivor of date rape. In the early 1990s, she appeared on the cover of Time magazine, sparking a nationwide conversation about the realities of sexual violence. She is the founder of the Take Back the Night Foundation and the host of the Dear Katie podcast. Inspired by the many letters Katie has received over the last 20 years, each week, Katie interviews survivors, healers, and experts to honor their stories and explore the many paths to healing and hope. Before we begin, please know, many episodes of Dear Katie cover sensitive topics related to sexual violence, trauma, and recovery. Listen with care and take the space that you need to take care of yourself. Your well-being is what matters most. Now, let's join Katie and today's guest for a conversation that matters.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Dear Katie podcast. It is our delight just to keep going on this healing journey with each and every one of you. Take Back the Night has been forever, decades now, in supporting survivors in their healing processes and having events and incredible ways for people to get involved and connect with other survivors so they feel not alone. And today is going to be one of those amazing days we get to talk with a survivor who's going to share her story and her journey as to where she is now. And I just always want to say self-care is so critical. Push pause at any time, take a breath of fresh air, go outside if you're not going to get right now. Where I am, you could get blown away with like 40-mile-an-hour winds. It's a little brisk. But if weather permits and safety allows, it's always great to get some fresh air. And if not, a cup of tea, hot chocolate, whatever it takes just to, chill out and regroup and rethink where you are in your own journey along this survivorship. So my guest today is Sarah, and I'm going to just tell you a brief bit about her, and I'm sure she'll share a bunch more. Sarah also, just by the way, I know we're based in the U.S., but Sarah, I believe, is in Canada, and we have had guests on the show from all over the world, so we're delighted to bring in a Canadian friend for today's episode. Sarah Hodkinson is an actor, a dancer, arts educator. She's based in Toronto, Canada. With more than 20 years of experience working in the entertainment industry, she strives to create safe spaces for children in the arts. She takes on many leadership roles and hopes to use her voice to help others. She began dancing when she was just a wee little 5-year-old and performed in the theater as a child. She's a graduate of Randolph College for the Performing Arts. She's written, acted, and produced short films, some of which have been featured in something called Canada Shorts. The Oscar qualifying shows, I think, are Holly Shorts. I was going to say Holy Shorts, but I think it's Holly Shorts. Real World Film Festival. Okay, Holly Jolly. Real World Film Festival and Inside Out the Film Festival. She's been working 20 years now in the film and TV industry, and she loves the genre of horror.
Yes.
So welcome, Sarah. It's such a delight to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we now know you're a Canadian and now living near Toronto, I assume, but did you grow up in Toronto? It's such a cool place. I don't know if I've been there several times to speak myself. I love it,
Yes.
especially in the summer when it's gorgeously warm.
Yes.
So tell me, is that where you grew up, right in the same area?
I did not. I grew up in Owen Sound, Ontario, so it's about 2.5 hours from Toronto. So it doesn't seem very far, but I grew up in a small town, and I always wanted to live in Toronto ever since I was a wee girl. I'm attracted to the big city, and I also knew I wanted to be a performer, and you had to go to a big city. So in Canada, that's where you go. I love where I grew up. I grew up dancing. I started ballet when I was 5 years old. And so I was always going to Toronto for ballet exams and master classes at the National Ballet School of Canada. So I was very familiar with the city as a young kid, but I grew up in Owen Sound. So um, I'm a small town girl. It's not very exciting, the place. So hence why I wanted to move as well. But I had a great childhood in the sense of I was heavily involved in the arts, and not just in studios with dancing, but at school, in my high school especially. I got involved in drama and music theater and dance, and I started teaching very young, around maybe 15, and assisting classes in dance. I always wanted to dance. I did ballet, jazz, hip hop, contemporary, point. I'm probably forgetting things because it's been so long,
Oh
you
my
know.
goodness,
Yeah,
that's
my grandmother was a
incredible.
ballet teacher, so that was the connection there. She got me into dance, but I was heavily attracted to Michael Jackson's choreography, that genre. So yeah, that's the truth. I wanted so I don't know, I think it's the whole theatrical part that he did, that I really was attracted to and liked. And then eventually, yeah, and then so I taught in
Yeah.
Owen Sound for a long time. And we traveled. I did a bit of competition, but not a lot. I traveled to Italy when I was 18, and we were the only Canadians there. And I think we placed third. Yes, we did. Wow. So I was 18. I'm 40 now. And that was very exciting because I think partly where we're from as well. So it was really cool to dance with people in the States, the US, and Russia, and China. And it was just incredible to meet other performers our age from all over the world. But I definitely had the acting bug young. I got a bit with it. I did tons of theater. I eventually auditioned for Randolph. At the time, it was Randolph Academy. It's Randolph College now. And I got in, and I was excited to move to Toronto. I was 19, turning 20. Before I went to school, I took a bunch of vocal lessons, did some theater plays, got my intermediate in Royal Academy of Dance. There's things I wanted to accomplish, and then eventually moved to the big city and took
Amazing.
their triple threat program there. So that's where you study acting, singing, dance. And I graduated in 2006. So
Okay, that's. I mean, already, I think what's so interesting, Sarah, is you're clearly someone who's not afraid to be multidisciplinary and multidisciplined,
yes.
and seek out, seek out. Was it? Did you feel? I mean, you always hear how some of that industry can be really cutthroat and challenging. Did you ever feel like it was just overwhelming, or you kind of just moved with the flow?
No, I did feel overwhelmed multiple times in my life, especially as a teenager and a child, really. It's a lot of pressure as a child to go into the arts. Um, Pressure as in it's an adult world. It's not a world for children. However, let me clarify, I feel acting is more of an adult world than dance. Like you're with other children when you're dancing, unless you're, professional very young, you can be. There's tons of pressure growing up in the dance world. Everyone seems to think it's just about appearance and weight. And of course, that plays a part, but it's about the discipline. And, as a child, sometimes after school, you want to go hang out with your friends, but you have to go to class or you have to train. And that always trumped every, sorry, poor use of words, that always kabunked.
He's about to be our president, so by the time this airs, he will be in office. So
Okay.
it's all good.
But yeah, I feel like I felt very lonely a lot growing up, which is odd to say because I was surrounded by people, but I felt different. I wanted to dance and perform. I wanted to act so desperately as a kid. My parents said no, and I'm kind of grateful they did now. Again, because there is so much pressure. Your call times are 4 or 5 in the morning. You have to go to school. You're balancing school and friendships and peer pressure and hopefully starting new relationships for the first time. I remember I had a boyfriend at 17, and I don't even, looking back, I'm like, I don't even know how I handled a relationship and pursuing my dreams. It was difficult. It was very difficult. I think.
Was he in the same like school and field? Like, was he studying dance and all the things, the same things?
Oh, no. So that could be part of it as well. The people I had in my life understood why I wanted to do this, and it was for the love of performing. But the older I got, I just found, skipping ahead a little bit, once I graduated Randolph, there's pressure in that as well. Agents and auditioning and balancing schoolwork or jobs and rent, bills, and trying to have a life on top of pursuing your dreams, which is very exhausting, very rewarding, but very exhausting as well. So you always kind of felt, or at least I did, a little behind a little bit in life personally, because your focus was somewhere else, maybe, rather than finding a partner or having a family right away. There's things I wanted to accomplish first, and I did, and I'm very happy with that. And it definitely led me to where I am now, which I have nothing but gratitude for now. But at the time, it is very hard as a teenager, balancing all that, you know?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
imagine. It seems intense. And it kind of sounds like it went all the way straight through from high school. I mean, since you were 5, all the way through, done with college.
Yeah.
But then aren't you just immediately pushed into the career mode, and it's still pretty rigorous? You have to keep up with practices and everything else?
Yes, definitely having to keep, especially when you're new, because nobody knows who you are. So you have to attend a lot of class. You also want to take class. There's many different streams you can go: music theater, straight theater, TV, film, commercial route, dance route. I love doing all of it, but eventually I had to choose. So when I was around 23, 24, I chose TV and film, because I knew that would take many years to form connections, relationships with casting directors, and I had to do the work. I had to put in the work. I came into this industry with zero connections, and I definitely built something for myself, which feels really good to say that now. At the
Yeah.
time, it's like, but yeah.
That's fantastic. Congratulations on all of that, Sarah. So now I guess, what are some highlights of where you are, before we get into your story? Where are you at that moment?
Highlights in career, you mean, right now?
Yeah. Well, no, wait, I know we're going to talk about what happened. You think that the reason you're on the show,
Yes,
but
yes,
maybe before, I want to paint the picture, what was going on when this everything happened to you.
Yes. So at the time, I had done quite a bit of TV, which was great, but I still always had a side job, which was serving and bartending at the time. It was very flexible because you could audition during the day, serve and bartend at night. So I always had my rent and bills covered, kind of thing. It only got difficult if you booked something. So a lot of times your job would just fire you, or, the industry's cutthroat no matter what industry it is. But I always knew the risk going into this kind of industry. I guess I mean unstable, very, job-wise. But yeah, I was auditioning a lot. I had just done a really cool show called Slasher, which was a scary horror show. It was really cool. What else was I doing? A lot of those docudramas, a lot of scary ghost stories. I'm really into that stuff because it's just so much fun to get to do that,
What's happened all your life? So all your life you were
Yes,
always into
I don't know why. I'm a weirdo that way, but I love it. I'm attracted to the paranormal side of it.
I love
But and eventually I should explain, you
Okay.
do get typecast. So if you do one sort of genre, they trust you to do it again, kind of thing, right? Unless it's commercials or something. But
Hi, this is Katie Koestner, and I wanted to remind all of our listeners about the free National Sexual Assault Legal Hotline. We at Take Back the Night have assembled an incredible team of attorneys, trauma-informed, who truly believe survivors and want to support their journeys in healing and finding justice. The Get Justice Hotline is 567-SHATTER, or feel free to fill out a form on the Take Back the Night website, share your story, let the attorneys know what's going on, and they will get back to you as soon as possible with all of your legal options. That is a service we are delighted to provide through Take Back the Night.
Yeah. So I was auditioning a lot. I had a great agent at the time. I've had multiple agents, but at the time I had a great agent. I don't think I was in class or anything. I was working quite a bit. It was a lot. And then all of a sudden, I got into the union. This happens a lot with actors. So in the States, you have SAG. Up here, we have ACTRA. And everything kind of stalled because I got into this funky area in my career where they just didn't know where to place me, even though I had been playing a mom since I was how old. But it gets a little bit difficult because I was kind of more in the big leagues and auditioning against, actors that have done this their whole life, not just 10 years. So the competition gets a little more strict, And I was doing tons of indie film and creating my own work, producing. I've produced, I should have figured this out before, like 5 or 6 films. I've wrote a film, just keeping busy and working with other actors, directors, producers, kind of all in the same boat as I was, creating their own work as well and keeping busy. And that was really cool because we got into a lot of film festivals in Toronto. And this was before there's film festivals everywhere now. But this was before there were a lot of indie film festivals, I would say. So Inside Out was a cool one to get into, Real World. I got into Holly Shorts, that's the one, Canada Shorts, Toronto Short Film Festival, a bunch of them. I honestly can't remember them. It's just because you're so laser focused, work. But the exposure was great. And Toronto really supports indie artists, which is why I love that city so much. But yeah, I kind of was at this point in my career where I didn't know what to do next. And I didn't know if I should let my agent go. You're kind of like, what do I do? What am I looking for? And so I had reached out to my friend who was a director in the business. Mind you, I have lots of acquaintances in the industry, it's totally normal for actors or directors and actors to get together for a drink or dinner and talk about what's going on in the industry, what they're working on. I find directors kind of can relate to actors in the sense where you're always looking for the next gig. Directors and actors change a lot, where producers and, I shouldn't actually say that, writers change too. But at the time, they didn't as much. So I reached out to my friend. We got together for a drink and was just talking about the business and, what's going on and what are you working on? It's totally normal to talk about that, which I guess brings me to my story. Yeah. So I met him in my early 20s. I met him through another friend, a director friend, and they were working together on a film. And I had auditioned. I booked this part with them. It was for an indie film. I went, I think it was to Aurelia. Yeah. And I shot it. And that was that. And again, I was friends with, I almost need a mystery name. Let's say person A. I was friends with him, who was friends with person B, who brings me to my story. Yeah. So that was my early 20s. And then in my early 30s, I was kind of figuring out what to do next after, pursuing that for a while. So person B, I'll call him. We met up for a drink. Yeah, just talked about the industry. And that was it. We had met a few times before that, this wasn't odd to get a drink together or anything and talk about what's going on. He had even started a few projects off that he wanted me in, and it never got completed. But so I've had rehearsals with him and everything like that. So I looked at him as a coworker in this business. Another thing about this industry, it's extremely hard to trust people, right? Their intentions. So once you find your people, you kind of stick together with them. And I considered this person one of them. So about a week later, this had nothing to do with the industry. So this wasn't on a job or anything, but we had met up again, my friend and we met up with his friend and him at a bar, had a few drinks. Definitely probably more than I should have, I feel like now, but I feel like I was in good hands, literally. This was a friend of mine. And yeah, one thing led to another. We all went back to his place, the four of us, to have more drinks. He was doing drugs. I was not. But I did notice that. I had never seen him dabble in this before, so that was kind of odd. Again, I don't know him extremely well. So it was just someone I've worked with a bunch of times. And let's be honest, this industry's full of that. And this is where it gets a little blurry because my friend had left and so had his friend. So it was just the two of us at the end of the night. And I want to explain this properly, but it was such a blur. We had never crossed a line before. It was just platonic. So this is confusing because I didn't really see this coming, which pisses me off now.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, but yeah, so anyways, he started to kiss me, and one thing led to another. It was pretty violent, and yeah, sorry.
No, my gosh, Sarah.
It was,
Let's back up and
yeah,
have a breath because
take a sip of
maybe
tea.
for some of the tea. Um, you know, just again for context, you mentioned you're 40 now, and this was when you were
Yes,
how old?
32.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So it's been a
Yeah.
while, but I think it's important to know how much it doesn't go away. It's there.
No, no,
Yeah.
it's
Um,
it's there. Yeah, it's there
yeah.
forever. I just hope that me talking about it helps other people. I feel like it helped me when I heard people come forward with their stories. And yeah, it's so fast, and you don't know what you're going to do until you hope to God no one experiences that. But until you're in a situation like that, I always thought you can ask anyone in my life. I'm very outspoken, I'm blunt, I'm stubborn. I know what I want. And so for me not to fight back physically, I think shocks me even now. I know how to punch someone. My dad took karate very young. He taught me how to like punch someone. If anything, I don't know. I live in Toronto. I'm a single woman in Toronto. I know how to take care of myself. I think the biggest thing I tell people is that it's not always someone hiding in the bushes or like a monster that jumps out from the alley. It's the person you trust that's right in front of you, or just a friend, or this happens to people in relationships even. Like there's such a stigma to what did you do or why didn't you stop it? And it literally happened so fast that by the time I could process that it was happening, I thought, holy shit, like I just need to stay alive. Um Again, he's a big guy, a really big guy. I don't think I could have fought him off. I don't know even. I can't even go there because it's happened. But
Right. I think it's important that you don't, Sarah. Like, don't, the
yeah,
self-doubt, the would have, could have, should have, I think they creep in for every one of us, and it
yes,
solves nothing. It just makes us sit in mired, agony of
yeah,
the things that happened instead of like figuring out, okay, what do I do with this now?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was so stunned. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, so the assault probably lasted, I want to say minutes. Like, it feels like forever, but it wasn't very long. Like, this is what I still have trouble understanding because it was so quick and violent. Um, yeah. And like, yeah, he pinned me down and did what he wanted. I don't even think my pants were off. He definitely didn't wear a condom. So I think about that now, like anything, pregnancy, diseases, just in general. This was not consented. This was really fucked up, excuse my language, but it was
Yeah.
wild. And all I could think about was how to get out of there. And like, this is where I don't know, like maybe, I don't know what you believe in, but I don't know, angels, or it's hard to understand that. But he had passed out. We were in his bed or on his bed. He had fallen asleep and I slipped out. I ducked out. And
Wow.
yeah, yeah. Looking back,
Do you remember anything about, yeah, like how that might have been a really powerful moment. Did you feel like I can breathe now or I'm still shaking? Like, what do you remember about that moment? The getting away moment.
I was bawling my eyes out walking down Bathurst
Mhm.
Street. If anyone from knows that street, it's a street I have to walk every day. And it's like, it's crazy. For years, I couldn't even go down that street after. Like, it was insane. But it was very late at night. And I walked home. I remember running. Like, I ran and then I literally didn't, I don't know. I didn't understand what had just happened. And then the next day I went to work. Like, I can't even believe I did this, but like, you just get up and go. And I tried to ignore it. I shoved it down way down here for many years. And I remember the next day he texted me. And this is wild. This is what really helped me. I'm fast forwarding, but in therapy to understand this, the premeditative part. But he texted me the next day apologizing for what he did. He never used the word rape or anything, but he just said, I'm sorry that things got out of hand. And I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. Like, it's all good. And he said, and this makes me cringe, he said, you're good people, which, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
I literally have to be careful with, yeah.
That's
Now I feel rage, and I felt it at the time, but I think this is so silly. You go into, I guess, survival mode, and you just think of surviving and going on with your day, and you have to go to your job. And I was actively auditioning, and I don't think anyone knew. The after part, though, I never reported it, which I regret hugely because I had proof, you know? Proof as in his just even the text messages, enough to
mm.
prove my friend was there right before,
Hey everybody, it's Katie Koestner. Just a quick interruption. We want you to know that there is an entire shop full of cool merch on the Take Back the Night website to support your own healing journey, that of someone you care about. There are t-shirts, there's bracelets, there's glow-in-the-dark stuff. There's all kinds of unique special edition from our artist series as well. So please take a look if it's a holiday or a special occasion or just a gift to yourself. Support Take Back the Night through your purchase.
Looking back, I did not have a great support system. And I'm not talking about my family. I'm talking about the friends that I was surrounded by. And I'm really pissed off that I didn't, because I didn't grow up this way. I grew up very, like I said, outspoken. My voice gets me in trouble sometimes, you know? And I'm not to skip all over the place. My mom is a survivor of sexual rape. Someone broke into my childhood home when I was 2 years old and hid in our basement. My dad was at work and he waited until we fell asleep and he attacked my mom. And I bring this up because I thought I knew what to watch out for, I think. And now this is where hopefully this helps other people. It is two different stories, but the same thing happened, you know? My mom didn't know her attacker. She never got justice from it. The police were terrible with how they dealt with it. They asked her if she hung her underwear outside to attract someone in. This was 1986, but still no excuse. They asked her if she was having an affair. I know they have to ask all those things, but it was more or less, what did you do to bring this into your home, into your bedroom? My mom, same thing. I was just talking to her the other day about this because I said I was doing this. My mom has never had the opportunity to use her own voice. And sorry, I saw the shame it built in her, and I don't want that to be me. And I really I wanted to heal as much as I could from this so I could, you know, have a functioning relationship or just show up for someone one day. But the thing with trauma is like, it can show up anytime. Grief that comes from all that. It's a really hard thing to talk about, but it's important. Clearly, it's still hard. Um, but going back to that, my mom and I always had open communication about these things, and Take Back the Night was something we used to talk about doing together, and I don't know why we never did. And this feels full circle now, but I just remember as a child knowing like she needed justice and would never receive it. So sometimes we have to give ourselves that permission to have justice. And I mean, totally different story. I knew who my attacker was. She didn't, but it's the same thing. Like it's, you know, people shaming her. There was a rumor going around in her town about she was out at the bar or something. Like my mom's not even a drinker. It's just like people, I don't know why people don't believe victims. It's so messed up. I don't know any woman or person, man as well, who would want to just make something like this up, you know? And it's just, yeah. So my mom and I got very close, obviously. But I do remember my mom like saying to her attacker, like, please don't kill me and don't hurt my daughter, because I was in my crib crying. And I look back now, because I've done a lot of therapy since, I see where this has formed attachment issues for myself, anxious attachment, especially. For years after, I thought my mom was gonna, this is so weird to talk about, but out loud, but I thought my mom was gonna like die in a car accident. I'd never see my mom again. I was like 5 or 6 years old. I don't know why I was thinking that way. Now, as an adult, I completely understand why I was thinking that way. So I think when that happened to me, there was a lot of shame I had for not seeing this before, not seeing something before it happened. But again, I did a lot of therapy, and my therapist really helped me see that there there is no way you can see some of this coming, like unless someone is full on stalking you, or, you know, even then you're not protected, let's be honest. But this person was a friend of mine. I considered a friend, and like these people pick on the vulnerable, and this is not about sex, it's about power. And unfortunately, some of these men are so low, as in self-esteem or their own issues, and they hate strong women, which I am a strong woman. And they want to take your voice away. They want to take your light away, your power away, whatever they think in their head. They want to feel powerful, on top of the world. And it's, again, not about sex. It's sexual violence, 1,000%. But this is I don't even know. I don't even want to understand, I guess. But this is something that predators do. And this is not a one-off thing. I think I blamed myself forever for that. I thought, oh, this is just a one-off thing that happened with me. It's not. My therapist helped me see a lot of that as well. And it was hard. My friends at the time weren't very supportive for any area in my life.
Oh, gosh.
And yeah, they're not friends anymore.
Well, let's go back, because you just told us so many things. Like, I know I don't want to break up your rhythm, but I do want to, like, you said so many important things for everyone to hear. And I want to talk about your friends and the lack of support, but maybe we talk about that first, and where that took you. But I also really want to talk and explore a little bit more about the powerful piece about your mom's experience and how it impacted you with yours.
Mhm.
And I also love when you said, I am a strong woman. I love that. Oh my gosh, that was so fantastic. And I think you are. And a lot of people think, well, strong women can't be raped, and that's
Yes.
so not, and you're just living proof that's such a lie.
Yeah.
So maybe we talk about the friends and lack of support, and then we go back to kind of where you are with this healing and your mom and that part of
Sure.
it. So back to friends, but I just wanted to stop and kind of honor everything you're saying, and I love the strong woman part. So
Thank you.
yeah, and I feel like you said, it happened so fast, and you don't even know if you could have resisted. And you took, you had your dad teaching you self-defense or karate or whatever, but living, you're just not prepared to think that people you actually think are good humans and have no reason to think otherwise, then go into this rapist mode.
It's terrifying.
So anyway, let's talk about what were your friends doing or saying that was so awful and not supportive? Were they
No, I actually never told them, and here's why. They were not supportive in my life in general. And anytime the topic of sex came up, especially with girlfriends, you want to talk about things, they kind of would roll their eyes at me. And here's the thing. I'm a dancer. I've been dancing since I was 5. I'm very flexible. I can't believe I have to say this, but I've done every genre: ballet, burlesque, jazz. I'm a performer. That's what I do. And I don't know where this weird thing comes from. What's people not in the dance industry, that's for sure, that think dancers are more sexual. Maybe. I think what it is we're more in tune with our body, and we know how to work our body, move our body, love our body, because you have to love your body with the things you're doing. But a comment that was made, because I was going to tell them, I remember this day specifically. It was a nice day in Toronto. We're outside, summertime in the park, and I wanted to talk to them. And we were talking about sex. And my friend said to me, yeah, well, you like sex more because you're a dancer. And I remember thinking, yeah, what a weird thing to say, because this woman was,
oh my gosh,
I don't know, a few years older than me too, but age has nothing to do with it. But anyways, I remember just thinking this isn't my safe place. There's many more examples, but that one really stuck out because I thought, what an odd thing to say. That I'm attractive, that I'm confident, guys think I'm sexy. That doesn't mean I'm asking to be assaulted. It doesn't even mean I'm out having sex, like, to be honest, you know? I don't know where that comes from. I think her own stuff. But I remember talking to my therapist and telling her some examples, and she asked why I didn't tell any of my friends. And it was a light bulb moment for me. I didn't trust them. I don't know. Without going too much into it, you need to be aware of people. Have you ever been in a situation where you meet someone and they're talking about someone else? I don't know, they're talking about someone, their best friend, to you behind their back. They're likely doing that to you as well. Those people are not trustworthy. I knew if I told them about being raped, it would have slipped out more. Like, I didn't trust them with that information, that they would spill it to other people. And it's no one's business. It's only who I wanted to share that with. Also, my one friend was in the film industry. So she definitely works with him now. I know that, which is weird. Or has, I should say. I don't know if she knows. But I never told them. And many more things happened, and eventually those friendships dwindled. But my therapist helped me understand, like, those are not friends. Your friends are there to help you and support you. And they would have made it worse. I truly believe that, to heal. I really had to go in and look at myself and ask myself why I didn't admit it to myself for many years that I had been raped. That was a hard pill to swallow. And yeah, because again, I identify and I am a strong person. It's not, but little by little, I saw all these other strong women come forward. You being one of them, Katie. You've done amazing, amazing work. And the age you started doing it at, like, it's like, yeah,
18.
like, that's, wow. You were,
But Sarah, like, I'm so glad. Yeah, I'm glad to
yeah,
meet you too. And I think it's like amazing how I was strong, different from your strong though, Sarah. Like, I had already been through a million things I didn't even realize. And then I just was always back. I wasn't like you. Like, I feel like you were strong because you were so diligent about your dance and your artistry, and you knew what it took to
yeah,
grind, and you did it, and you stuck with it, and you were solely focused on that. And I think that helped you. But, I'm curious, like, still about the silence and the gap and how long it took you to come to terms with it. Do you think it was, I guess, well, musing upon it, like, now, do you think it was just too much for your,
yes,
like, whole mind to
yes,
absorb? Was it too shocking? Was it, oh
yes,
crap,
all of
me
it,
and my mom?
all of it,
Like, all of
like,
those things probably.
all of
It
it.
was like
To
all of
admit,
it.
that you're a victim and then a survivor is number one. You look at the stats of people that even survive violent attacks. It's insane that I survived and that my mom survived. Um, I think that the Me Too movement helped. Um, I remember people talking about it. I didn't focus too much on it,
Mm-hmm.
ironically. But I do remember actresses going forward to the union here in Canada and complaining about a director. This is not my director that I'm aware of. I have to say that. But actor more or less said, "Be grateful you got the part," which is so
Oh my God.
fucked up. Yeah, and
Right.
I left the union after that. and I quit acting abruptly. And I really get angry at him when I think about this, because my career has taken a backseat over the years because of this, where this guy gets to still work and I have to still audition. But not to go too far that way. Just to, because I don't know if people know this, when you walk into the audition room, you don't know who the director is, and you don't, especially now, you do self-tapes, which are safe in your zone. You can film anywhere. So I do a lot of self-tapes, but I also do a lot of callbacks, and I'm on hold for a lot of commercials a lot. So it's an industry where you work with different people every time, and he's out working. Like, most actors that sit there before going into the waiting room are worried that they're going to forget a line or mess up. I'm worried my rapist is going to be on the other side of the camera. And what's really difficult about that is that they don't always show who the director is now. And they'll zoom in now, the directors, but you only hear their voice. You don't actually see their face. They don't set up a monitor like they used to. Not all casting houses, but this has happened enough times where I leave the audition pissed because I don't know who I'm potentially working with. And I think there's this stigma in the industry as well, that especially women, because we only make up 35% of this industry. Everything else goes to men. And so if you're working, I'm in the top 3%, which is crazy. But if you're working, you're risking that vulnerability every time. And it's hard. Like, I never know if I'm going to see him. He's definitely working, because there was a TV show I didn't get that I was very surprised about. And I happened to look on IMDb a few months ago, and he was the director. Go figure. This guy gets to work and I don't, even after all this,
Mm-hmm.
It's bullshit. So I hope the industry,
Crazy.
I don't know, changes a bit.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for continuing to take the journey on the Dear Survivor podcast. A quick note, we are 100% volunteer at the podcast and at Take Back the Night. Your donations, your generosity helps us do what we do on such a shoestring budget. And we would be so grateful if this show is helping you through your journey and you are passing it along to others you care about. Please visit the Take Back the Night website and donate and support our cause and our mission to end sexual violence and support survivors. Thank you.
I was walking with my male actor friend after a call back a few weeks ago, and I told him that I was doing this because he has his own podcast, and we were just chatting, and he knows my story, and he went, whoa, 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 he still works in the industry? Like, these guys have no clue, like, unless they've been assaulted themselves, or, So I just had to say that, because I think, people are worried about, oh my God, does my hair look okay? Or am I going to forget my lines? I'm like, I just hope I don't have to call someone out in this callback, it's tough. It's tough. So I definitely, years ago, took a break. I lost a lot of my 30s to depression and anxiety, and insomnia. I didn't realize I had insomnia until I told my therapist. I thought I just had trouble sleeping because I had been a bartender for so long, and so your hours are late. And no, it's definitely insomnia. And I just sit there wide awake, and it just, I don't know, clicked one day. I was reading stories online about other women, and I read this one story specifically with this girl who was in college, and it sounded like my story. And I just knew I had to admit it to get through it. And I knew this was a block in my life, of a block from my success, to have a healthy relationship, to even just fall in love with myself again. I lost my voice. I lost my confidence. I lost a lot of friends and relationships. And, the event itself, again, was probably 2 minutes. Like, it's insane. Like, people don't talk about the depression after, like, and was it freeze mode? Like, you're just going through the motions of life. And I should have been at my prime in my career. And again, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Everything does happen for a reason. And I see it a little bit now. But I know my agent at the time was confused because I had just quit. And I never told her. I don't know. I didn't tell anybody until my therapist made me start telling people. And I told a few close people in my life, and they gave me, my sister was one of them. My mom and dad were one of them. And a few friends of mine, a few others. And to be honest with you, 3 out of 4 of them had their own story to tell me back. So this happens more than we think. And the effects are the worst part, like the aftershock, the after effects, I don't like the event is awful, but it's the lack of support, I think, from our society. The industry I'm in, the industry everybody's in. I'm just saying because I am in the entertainment industry. It's such a stigma, like an actor and director. I think with all this is kind of off, but all the Harvey Weinstein stuff that came out too, like I was never, these women are heroes. It was never like, oh, we met up and had dinner and he like, it was never like that. This was a full-on attack that I had to explain to people. This wasn't someone that just crossed a line, like grabbed me inappropriately. This was full-on rape. And like I said, it was so quick, but yeah, I read some stories online, and this is odd, but Megyn Kelly, who came forward about Roger, I'm blanking, with Fox News, her story inspired me because not what happened, but she's such a strong person.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't believe something like that happened to her too. It's always the strong. We're all strong. But like the more I read up on this, Ashley Judd coming forward, like that. But like so many. Like, yeah, like it's just insane. I just bring these people up because they're on camera, and working with these people. But there's the person, your neighbor down the street probably has their own story too, but her voice will never be heard.
So many people who
or an opportunity to be heard or believed
to come
as
forward,
well.
And
So
you're a strong person to do so. Well, let's say you've given us a ton. We've almost been talking an hour already. Let's see. Yeah, I know time flew, but let's just think about like what would you like our listeners to take away? When did you start? It sounded like you started therapy before you really were public about it with anybody. That's really made a huge difference.
I did. Yeah. It did. It did because it was an unbiased opinion as well, and a professional. I really needed help, and I wasn't convinced. Not convinced. I was second guessing myself. Like, did this really happen? Because this is what happened. I don't know. It's like very confusing. I think again because I was friends with this person. So that just really took me off. Like I didn't understand that. My therapist really helped me understand and for me to see the premeditative stuff that happened before. And she also helped me realize that predators are predators. Like it's like an animal, like looking for their next prey. It really is point blank that. And she helped me understand that this isn't always, rarely about sex, because I think as a woman that affected my sexual life in many ways. To trust someone again that way is extremely difficult. Um, and just I had to heal. Like I had to heal from a lot. There's many more other things that have happened to me, but this one changed my life, I would say. And therapy helped because it's a safe space to talk. It helped me build my confidence again. It helped me cut in so many ways. Like I'm just so grateful for to have that access to therapy. And I talk about this. I recently made a social media post a few months ago about this happening to me. And because I turned 40 and I'm so happy to leave my 30s behind and start a new decade. And in this decade, I want to use my voice and help other people. And I realized I don't need anyone's permission to do that, that I can do it by speaking on this or volunteering or just talking about it, like being a safe place for other people who have experienced this. And what I spoke about in my social media posts is that healing is for the rich. I was lucky I had access to funds. I had my own money to pay for therapy. Not everyone does. Not everyone knows where to go and seek help after. I didn't. Like I didn't for many years. I didn't understand what was happening to me. And I just feel like I want other women specifically to know that this is such a stigma thing to say, but that they're not alone. And that I think for many years I couldn't admit that this happened to me because I was strong, successful. I'm a leader in the arts. I teach children. I teach, babies all the way to adults, dance, acting, anything. Like this was so embarrassing to admit because in a way I felt like I did something. I let this happen. I invited this person into my life. And the stories we tell ourselves, I realize, is pre-programmed with society as well. And that violence against women happens every minute of the day. And, I'm just one out of millions that this has happened to. And I don't give a shit anymore what people think of me. If I don't care if you don't believe me. I don't care if you think I just want attention or whatever people are making up in their own head. I know what happened to me, and I know what happened to my mother, my sister. Like it's insane. And I just think like as a woman, we are taught to people please and always cater to others. And something hit me in my later 30s where I was like, fuck this. This is about me. And I want to heal so that I can start using my voice. I didn't even know this was part of healing, wanting to talk about it after, or not everyone has to, but I am an actor and I know how to sing through crying or speak through nerves, I can do this. Like I want to public speak. I want to do things that I just want to help people because this man does not have power over me anymore. And, I did this. I healed, not him. And I just want to help people.
You're doing
Truly.
amazing work, Sarah, just by being on the show and starting this journey. And I love starting off your 40s with this sense of like vision again. It's renewed from, you had it and it's not like you lost it, but you had it so clearly from what you shared with us, and now you can put all of that energy into busting through lots of myths. And it's exciting. Well, I know I'm glad you posted about this. Obviously, I think you'll find you're not alone, and you might have others reach out after the show. But it has been just fantastic to host you, Sarah. I really appreciate everything and your strength and your courage and your vision.
Thank you. I can't thank you enough for this opportunity and for the work you have done, globally. I'm just you are an earth angel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Sarah, we're both. You are too. We're going to keep going. My gosh, we're not that old. Life is probably not even done, right? Let's keep going.
Yes.
There's so much work to be done.
Yes.
And you are strong and powerful. And you can use all the skills you have to figure out what you want to do next in this space. So for our listeners, my goodness, what a cool interview with Sarah. Look at all the different things and layers she shared and things she's gotten through. So be encouraged and be empowered by strong women like Sarah. And if you don't feel strong today, like I said, do another round of, it sounds like therapy was so helpful for Sarah. So just connecting with someone who reinforces your belief in yourself is so critical. And that's part of what we're here on the podcast to do. Even though we're not your therapist, we're therapists at a, just tune in and hopefully there'll be something here that resonates. So thank you, listeners. Keep going, keep building your courage and building your strength. If you want to take action legally, we just partnered also with a Canadian organization to also help in Canada with the legal support hotline. So please look on the Take Back the Night website and find the form or make a phone call and find out more about your legal options if you're ready to take that step too. Until the next time, continue together. We are never alone in our healing journeys. Take care. Thank you again, everybody, for joining another episode of the Dear Katie podcast. I hope very much you found today's episode helpful, empowering, and a way to take another step in that long journey toward healing and supporting those we care about, learning about sexual violence prevention, and also survivor support. For those of you who don't know, again, the Take Back the Night website has tons of great resources, books, self-care options, cool merch. If you're feeling like you need a wearable, we have great t-shirts. Of course, we would love it if you follow along on our free newsletter with news and events going on around the country and even around the globe. And finally, don't forget to like us and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. You'll find our entire community popping up here and there, and recaps of our podcast episodes as well. So together we shatter the silence, and together we end the violence. Take care.